The Lord of the Rings. Can you believe it's been over 20 years since these epic films came out in the cinema? I remember watching these when I was a teenager, and look at that kind of shot. Can you beat that kind of thing anymore? I don't think so. Myself, a load of other YouTubers are sending buildings over to Zorpazorps. He is attempting to build a ridiculously, stupidly massive Minis Tirith remake, and we are going to be adding our buildings to this glorious piece of art. Where do you start? Well, my name's Oliver, and I'm going to start at the very beginning. I have got a piece of pen and paper and an idea. I'm going to make a broadsword blacksmith that fits into the wall. To do this, I needed blacksmithy stuff like forges, hammers, anvils, bits of wood, whatever, and I figured using a 3D printer would be the easiest way. I found some files online. They cost me about £5 to download and slice, all pre-supported, so I just pressed play on the machine, left it for a couple of hours, came back, and voila, there they were, my 4G stuff. Now, the main reason I'm doing this now is so I can scale this against a warrior of Rohan and then decide on the general size of the building. Do make sure to wear protective gear, gloves, masks, goggles. I am actually just using hot water here to break the resin off, so nothing too major. I stuck it in the curing machine for 1 minute. Any longer than that, it doesn't really need it. And we have the finished things with a man of Rohan next to him, so we can sort of gauge the idea of the size. I've got an old G-Dub tower, one of the Warhammer fortresses. I've got one of those laying around out back. And I thought I'd use this as a general idea for the scale of the model and the building shape and size. I'm going to build this out of blue foam. This is 6mm blue foam. I've got 10mm as well. Ideally, I'd have 25 or 50mm and make this into one big block using a hot wire cutter, but I don't own one and I can't get hold of that kind of foam out here in Ireland very easily. With the floor size cutout, I know how big the area is going to be. I've done a back wall, a side wall, and I'm unsure as to whether or not this is going to be one big building or it's going to have a courtyard. I used some cocktail sticks just to pin this together and hold it so I can dry fit and keep testing with the sizes. To glue this, I'm going to use Gorilla Glue. This stuff is really, really good, but it is so sticky and it gets absolutely everywhere. Do not get it on your hands or on your table or on your furniture or your clothes because it will ruin everything. I'm telling you this now from experience. Okay, I thought it was time for a little hobby update. For you, it's been about 5 seconds since you last saw this building. For me, it's been nearly a month. I've just really struggled with the motivation to finish this. I've been so busy. The kids had COVID. She had norovirus. Kira's been ill. I've had the shop running as well. Building up to Christmas, that's been quite difficult. So just not really had enough time, and I've not really had the motivation in general for hobby. I've done a fair bit of work since you last saw it. I've since carved all the buildings. I have a huge appreciation out, by the way, for people who do foam buildings. Hats off, a tip of the hat to all of you who do foam buildings. I'm going to slap some Mod Podge on, show you some shots of what I've done. I've done a fair bit, to be honest. It's at a sort of completion state. And then we'll get carrying on. I've got a few rock molds to stick on to make it look a bit cooler, a roof, and then painting. So catch you guys back in a sec. We rejoin the project after I've done all the scribing. To do this, I used knives, pens, ball pens, and a ruler just to make sure everything lined up nicely. As mentioned, I am going to add some rock molds in, and these are going to go along the back wall. This will help bring up that whole kind of rustic vibe to a blacksmith. I'm going to use fine casting plaster for them and then use modelling compound, which is available from my shop, broadswordwargaming.com. The link is below. The reason why I like this combination is the modelling compound is great for attaching things to foam and buildings, and I use this in my terrain builds a lot. The fine casting plaster is also the same stuff that is in the modelling compound, so when it comes to painting these or using washes, it all absorbs the same way and you get the same finish throughout all of your rocks. If you've not used rock molds before, do check out a video. I did this before on how to use them. Make sure to apply a whole ton of Mod Podge, 2 or 3 coats actually, because I'm going to use aerosols on this. And as we know, aerosols melt foam generally. And I didn't really want that to happen at this point in the stage. I spread it black, sprayed it grey, and left it there. I gave this to Lachlan in a neutral finish because that way he can combine it and add it into the rest of his board without it sticking out like a sore thumb. It's my face, and that can only really mean in this video something has gone wrong. And indeed, something has gone wrong. To immortalise the words of Tolkien, all those who wander are not lost. But unfortunately, my board building is lost. Yes, that's right. Every building arrived intact to Australia at Lachlan's HQ, but mine. So here we go. This is the finished B-roll of my building. The idea was Lachlan was going to build this into the board, add some steps on it, and make it into part of the wall. Doesn't it look amazing though? Unfortunately, my building isn't there. Maybe it'll turn up, maybe it won't. I don't know. But we can all appreciate the work that's gone into this whole thing. So amazing work from everybody. I hope you all enjoyed the video and I hope you took something from it anyway.
The Lachlan's board looks amazing. If you haven't checked the video out, do go check it out. If you haven't checked the other artists or YouTubers' work out, do go check theirs out as well. Lots of amazing board builds from lots of amazing YouTubers and content creators. As for me, that's it. There's no finished product, just a half-completed video.
Thank you for watching.